Hello, everybody. Welcome to Matic TV. I'm here with the boys, both still on a high from yesterday. As I'm sure every other United fan is, it was a good feeling yesterday. It was back to the old days, Fergie time goals. I think that's the latest goal I can remember in the league for a long time. And there's a lot to come from that game, a lot of interviews afterwards. But I'm just going to get into the guests first. Jamie, how you doing, mate? Obviously, yesterday was all right, but all in all, we've had a good week on the pitch, mate. What's it been like off it? But has it been good for you?
Yeah, I've been all right, mate. Keeping myself busy in the gym and doing what I do, mate. Just keeping low key as per. Concentrating on my football team over the week's training and stuff. But yeah, all good, mate. No rain in Newcastle, so always positives, as I like to tell you when I come on. Good to see you boys, anyway.
That's the one. That's the one. Owen, mate. Good weekend, wasn't it, mate? Good week. I seen you at Brentford there. Can't believe I missed you while I was there, mate. But it's been a week of old for United, hasn't it, mate? It felt good, didn't it, pal?
I mean, Brentford was unreal midweek. That was quality.
It was.
I forgot what it was like to win away. And then yesterday, until that goal, I was absolutely fuming. I kicked the seat beside me about 17 times. I was just thinking, oh, here we go again. Same bullshit. Missed opportunity, miss out. And then Rashford hit that. Honestly, it's why you watch football, isn't it? Just for those little moments that will always live on with you forever and ever. It was mint. It was unreal. And it's just been good, man. It's just been good to get back to winning ways. And it's just been amazing. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit rough this morning. I celebrated very well last night, but we move.
As we do. Jamie, obviously watching on the box there back at home. I've spoke to plenty of people from inside the stadium yesterday. I got back late. I did loads yesterday. Everyone wanted to have their say yesterday. But from watching it on TV, mate, how was it taken? Sort of, how did the punditry come across? How was it received from watching it from TV, then, in terms of ex-pros and everyone like that and everyone commentating on it? Did it come across as the game that I watched? Because I seen quite a stalemate game, but one team that probably had more control was us, I thought. I mean, how was it? Yeah. How was it taken, and how did you see it, mate?
Yeah, I think we kind of controlled the game well, without doing too much until we obviously we got the goal very late. But I think we were in control of the game. I didn't ever feel like, I don't know about you boys in the stadium, but I didn't necessarily worry too much about West Ham yesterday. I thought we kind of nullified them a little bit. They had their opportunities, but we're always going to give teams them opportunities anyway. That's half the problem.
I didn't think they had any, mate, to be honest. From what I seen, I didn't think West Ham had Jack.
Yeah. The players that have probably not have been questioned, like by us three. I know your take on Maguire, that situation, Adam. I thought he was solid yesterday. You know, I think the defense generally, like, they looked like a proper defense yesterday with Dalot and Tellez providing the width. The two centre backs were solid, and like you say, West Ham are a decent team, and they couldn't break us down. I think they had a chance with Souček from a corner, which they're always going to be dangerous. They've got quite tall players, isn't they? They're quite dangerous team in the air, but on a whole, it was quite frustrating for the fact that we couldn't seem to get that goal. And I generally thought it was going to be one of them games that was just going to get away from us again. But we done what we needed to do, and then you just got to keep plugging away in games like that. And little bit of break, maybe the little bit of luck as well with the potential offside. I generally did think it was offside when I seen it on the telly, and seeing it after as well, I generally think his hand was probably offside, but there's absolutely zero F's given here, mate, because it was absolute limbs everywhere at Old Trafford. It looked amazing, and I was jumping, I'll tell you off camera, I was jumping around my living room, Adam, and the guy come for the takeaway on the door, and God knows what he was thinking when he must have been knocking the door, because I was going crazy. But yeah, just that's what Owen hit the nail on the head. It's that's the moments you live for, and that's United played to the final whistle, and then you get that little tiny bit of luck. And I was delighted for Rashford as well. I really think he needed that goal, Adam. So absolutely superb. But it'll be interesting to get Owen's take and your take as well, because you were in the ground. So
That's it. I mean, VAR, Owen, mate. We all know you can't score a goal with your hand, mate. So it's not a body part that can be affecting offside. It's quite simple, the rule, mate, isn't it, mate? But you guys down there, some of your friends are West Ham fans. I know you've got a few of them, mate. Were they screaming, mate?
I gave him hell yesterday. He's on holiday in France. I rang him. He didn't answer the phone. I left him about 15 voicemails. I got a text off him about 7 or 8 o'clock. It was just Mank. See you next Tuesday. So he wasn't too happy about it. He didn't really speak to me about the game. But all in all, I didn't think it was offside. I thought it was on. And as Jamie said, I don't really give a fuck. Like, if it was or it wasn't, it still counted. We won the game, so I don't really care. I was buzzing with the result. So, but in terms of the game though, and I thought about this as well. Mikel Antonio is drastically overrated. He has a little purple patch every season. He gets 7 or 8 goals, and he'll have a total of around 10. And everyone is like, "Oh, he's amazing! He's amazing!" He's not. He's basically just a big unit who gets the odd goal here and there. He has little purple patches throughout every season. He's one of the most overrated strikers in the Premier League.
I mean, on that, I mean, for me, from what everyone's been bragging about, like you said, West Ham came there in full strength, mate, and didn't lay a glove on us. David De Gea had one save to make, which was from a deflected Rice cross. Wasn't even a shot, mate. So, really, I'm looking at Bowen, supposed to be getting an England call-up. Did nothing much. Like you said, Antonio, Rice was steady and tidy, but in his own half, couldn't really affect the game. Souček, non-existent. Soufal got subbed off, useless. Mate, all these big names didn't really do anything against us. And we always said, look, let's see how we come up against the better team. This was the first team in a while that we played that were actually ahead of us in the league, mate. And obviously, I think yesterday we didn't really, without being fantastic ourselves, mate, I don't think we had any problems dealing with West Ham whatsoever.
It didn't look like they came to win the game, though. It looked like they were happy. They were delighted with a 0-0. Like that's what they looked like they came to do.
Blaming David Moyes for keeping his 15-0 record, mate. Yeah.
Oh, David fucking Moyes! I swear to God, that name just sends a shiver down my spine. That was one of the worst years of my entire life. Like driving home after losing at home to Swansea and West Brom, and oh Jesus. That was like going to Old Trafford under David Moyes was like penance for your sins. Honestly,
it was a horrible time. I always bring it up because Alfie was obviously his first ever season as Manchester United season ticket holder was David Moyes, and all he's known is from Moyes forward. So Paul lad has had to suffer with the stories and the history of Man United being good, but never seeing it. But I see bits of improvement coming now, Jamie, mate, and a few individuals, namely the substitutes yesterday, and we talked about this quite a bit after the Brentford game. Players getting little snippets of performance for the time that they've been on the pitch. Players that we needed to get them performances, mate. Rashford's, Martial's. And I mean, I'll get your opinion now on it. I mean, we all love Edison Cavani, but does this guy just seem to do more when he comes off the bench than when he does start in a game?
Yeah, I just think, I don't know what your opinions are. It would be interesting to hear it, but I thought Ronaldo struggled a little bit yesterday. I thought he was really struggling with being the lone striker, and I always feel like because of his age and the fact that he doesn't have the legs no more, he needs someone there with him. And I feel like when Cavani came on, we had a different type of option. And obviously when Tony came on as well, which was quite nice to see, to be fair, because I quite like Martial. I know the situation with him. We won't go into it, but I was quite glad he came on because I felt like we needed a goal, and he's a player that can do a little and create half a chance. And in the end, he sort of played a massive part in the goal. But I felt like Cavani definitely seems to improve the team and give us a different dimension when he comes on. He's more of a, you can play into him and he feeds off well and makes like very clever little runs off of the defenders and drags players out and stuff like that. And you see that yesterday with the goal and how unselfish just to put it on a plate, you know. But I feel like, I definitely agree with that, Adam. I feel like he definitely offers a little bit more from the bench. instead of being the main striker. But I still feel there's an issue with the striking department at United. I think we need a centre forward. I just don't think Ronaldo's, I think at times catching up with him. I think he's definitely got a part to play while he's there, and we need to enjoy him. But the bigger picture is, I think that's a massive issue for United, where Ronaldo is struggling, but it's Ronaldo, ain't it? With it until he's no longer at the club. But I do feel like we obviously need a midfielder. The whole world knows that, but I think we need a world-class striker as well going forward, because we've got a lot of people leaving, including Cavani. But going back to the original point, he's a super sub, isn't he? He makes a massive difference when he comes on, and his celebration for the goal yesterday gives me shivers looking at him, because it was like he scored the goal himself. And, and that's why the fans love him, and they sing his name. They appreciate a hard worker at that club, you know.
And that's it, mate. Owen, it's not like it's any individual we're picking on or looking at here, but when that goal went in, I've not seen a sort of togetherness like that. I mean, it was great at Brentford and everyone was involved, but the absolute togetherness that you seen from the squad and the players, even the substitutes, was immense. It was like they'd all scored that goal, mate. I've not seen that for a while, mate. I think that's what's been missing. It was good to see, wasn't it, mate?
Definitely. It's amazing. And I mean, Jamie was touching on it there. I love Cavani, man. I know he's only going to be here with us to the end of this season, but I fucking love that man. Honestly, like I'd happily give him a lifetime contract just so I can see him. He's something, man. He's one of those players that will just always sort of live on as a sort of a fan favourite forevermore. Like Ander Herrera as well. Like I'd say he'll be always be thought of fondly by the United fans, and it's just a shame that we didn't get him 3 or 4 years earlier, because he could have done some serious damage for us if he wasn't there.
Another one of them players that we got at the wrong time of his career, mate. There's a long list of them at this football club.
Zlatan as well, Jesus.
Players, Zlatan, Schweinsteiger, Falcao, blah, blah, blah. I can go through quite a list, mate, to be honest. But one player who we have got at the right stage of his career, mate, and Owen, I know you'll appreciate this more. Never has the song Rhythm as a dancer sounded so sweet, with now an Elanga theme behind it as well, mate. Anthony Elanga, the new hero of Manchester United, and has his own song already, mate. Absolutely. I'm really excited because I've watched him a few times. I've been to, well, obviously, I was at Villa, I was at Brentford, was at this game. I thought he had a great game, but in a defensive aspect yesterday, Owen, as well, mate. He seems disciplined, doesn't he? He's mature for his age, I would say.
He's mint. Like, he is. There's just no two ways about it. He's probably not far off getting called up for the Sweden squad if he started for United, let's be honest. He was brilliant yesterday, amazing against Brentford. And I think at this point now he's undroppable. Like, he's got to be starting every week now, in my opinion. Jadon Sancho, look, we obviously all want him to work out, but at the minute it seems to be, personal issues, I think, or something. I'm not too sure about it, but if Elanga is continuing to perform the way he is, like, Jadon Sancho is going to find it very difficult to find a place in that 11, and it's just going to get. I think he's a nailed-on starter now for this team. Elanga, he's been unbelievable.
This is a great name for a YouTube name, a pothead. I think this is a pothead comment as well, mate, to be honest, because we're talking about yesterday and we're talking about the Brentford game at most, if you want. If you want to go back to Ricky's game of Aston Villa when he tries to destroy Greenwood, then you can go back there if you want, mate. But tell me what Greenwood did wrong in the last 2 games and we'll talk about it, mate. But cheers for the comment anyway, mate. I thought Greenwood was excellent.
There's enough misery in the world. Stop focusing on the bad shit and let's enjoy the fucking good ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Because there's a moment, and I'll probably talk about Ricky with that later on when I'm on United stand, when Greenwood did some absolutely superb defensive work yesterday. And for me, excuse me, if it sounds like I'm eating at the same time, I've just got something from my throat, which is helping me. That's all, guys. So bear with me. But Greenwood, Rashford, Elanga, McTominay, youth players, I mentioned it, Jamie at Brentford, all making news at United at the moment, actually carrying us, I think. Whereas the big name signings are the ones that are nowhere near. And it's good to see that we can bring that youth through. And I think that's showing actually in our games, mate, that we're getting a little bit more hunger back. And I think Elanga has inspired. I mean, it's a big shout to say he's inspiring a few of the other players, mate. But I think he has had an impact in coming in, and his whole work rate and the way he carries himself on the pitch, mate. I think it's having a good effect on a lot of the other players as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, mate. I think he's brought a freshness to the team, new ideas. He's trying to play little intricate passes, passing and moving. His movement's brilliant on and off the ball. He wants to create chances. For me, he makes the right decision a lot of the time. You know, and for such a young player, he's got a very level head on him, and he knows when he's in the wrong area to try and beat players, and he'll give it, and he'll peel off, and he'll try and get one-on-one with the fullback, and I really like that in a winger. And he can finish as well. I mean, the Brentford goal was absolutely fantastic. That first touch absolutely killed the ball, and then that little header into the corner, and that just, I mean, you two were at the game. It seems to just relieve the pressure off of the team and allow us to just play our own game then. And it's like, right, okay, the shackles are off now. We've got the lead. Now we can express ourselves a bit, and we destroyed Brentford in the end. Like some of the, I mean, the second goal was fantastic football. And it's like like Owen just said a little minute ago, we've got to look at the positives. I know that obviously guys trying to get a bite from Greenwood, but who cares about that now? Do you know what I mean? We've won 2 games in a row. Let's just take some positivity out. We've got the likes of Elanga and players coming through now that have got the quality that he doesn't look like a player that's been playing first team football for a month or so. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he's maturing into the shirt, and he looks like he'd been playing first team football for a long time. And I feel like there's a lot of quality in that under 23s at the minute. Hopefully he's not the last one that gets given a chance. I know there's a little bit of noise about Hannibal as well, maybe coming into the fold and being part of the first team squad going forward after the AFCON. So he is another fantastic player, very comfortable with the ball, can dribble past players from a central position. So it's all positive, and there's that much negativity around United regarding the manager situation and the board. Let's just enjoy the fact that we're playing some nice football now, and we're actually starting to see what Ralph's trying to do instead of focusing on negatives. Because I feel like as a fan base, we kind of try to jump on the negatives when just let's do it in the black and white of it is. We've won the last 2 games, and let's move on from there.
Yeah, I mean, Owen, mate, on the Nate, cheers for the super chat there, mate. I mean, papering over cracks, we controlled the game and the ball, but we didn't create much. I know that is very true. There was very few chances. A few people have picked up on. I was speaking to Doug earlier on. He's got an issue with, like what Ralph was talking about after the game about the shots from outside the box. But I just think that when you get a David Moyes team coming to town and being as stubborn as they are, it was always going to be difficult. I mean, they had their best team out there yesterday. And I sort of got to look at it and go, well, we created numerous chances against Villa and Brentford who were open. Then we got a low block coming to town in West Ham, who are on paper and was before the game a better team than us. But in the end, the way we restricted them, I think is more of a positive because they were the ones in the end who made the mistake, Owen, and actually tried to go for the win. And that's when we caught them. I think concentration levels on our players has to be brought into consideration for praise as well, mate.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like our midfield is lacking, and we all know that. And I feel like we lost the midfield battle yesterday, and that's why that West Ham. It's just we're not, Bruno isn't his usual creative self when that low block is played against him. It just seems to be that way anyway. But I mean, Varane at the back has looked amazing since he's come back in, and I think we all thought he would be. It's just been a shame that he's been injured for so long. Just injured on and off pretty much all season, but hopefully now if he stays fit to the end of the season, I don't think it matters who plays alongside Varane. He makes them better. Like he improves any central defender that plays alongside him. A bit like Van Dijk. I would say Varane is in that caliber. We all know that. I mean, the man's won 4 Champions Leagues. He's top level. But I'd say going forward, it's just the midfield that needs to improve. I think if we have a strong holding midfield, the creativity will then flourish as a result of that because we've already got the best creator in world football in our fucking team, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I'm loving that one. I mean,
But it's not. It's genuinely true. He creates the most.
He's got his
chances.
mojo back. I'll say
He
that
creates
anyway.
the most. He's got 18 goals and assists this season, and we think that's poor.
Yeah.
If we were getting that out of Andreas Pereira, we'd be talking about him getting Brazil call-ups and all sorts of shit. Bruno's absolutely tearing it up, mate, and he's that good that we think that's just average now. People sleeping on Bruno Fernandes, mate, and he's going to absolutely tear it up now for the rest of the season.
Positives there, loving what Owen's saying there, and Jamie, one of the biggest things that I took from yesterday is we're seeing players coming into the team, taking their chance, even if it is off a bench. I mentioned it before, but Harry Maguire, the circumstances, unfortunate for Lindelof and what happened there and why Maguire came back into the team. I thought he was lucky to get back in, but it's not his fault. Ralph put him back in. A few people said yesterday that they thought Maguire was decent yesterday. What's your opinion on Maguire? And come Middlesbrough or Southampton the next games, do you keep Maguire in there with Varane now? Because Ralphie's got some tough decisions to make and some good tough decisions now, because Maguire coming in, taking his chance, Dalot, Telles. I'm looking at McTominay taking his chance when he came back from suspension. Martial doing what he did off the bench. Rashford doing what he's doing off the bench. Looking at Sancho going, I can't see him getting back in the team. But, I mean, when we come back, mate, everyone is going to be fit, even Pogba. How do you see Ralph handling this squad, mate? Because we will have a fully fit squad when we come back, and I don't see him personally, from my point of view, mate. I don't see him making too many changes because he is quite strict on player comes in, takes his chance, he stays in the team. So for me, I don't see much. But can you see anything at all? Is there anyone's place in that team yesterday you feel is up for a shout with someone else?
I think with Ralph sort of neglecting the 4-2-2, I feel like going back to that 4-3-3 has probably helped him out a little bit regarding the Pogba situation, because it's easier to put him in a 3 than it is a 2. Because then you're sort of having to maybe leave a Fernandes or a Fred or McTominay out of that 3 and to accommodate Pogba being one of the positions, which he can play one of them positions, but I feel like 2-8s are probably better in that 3 midfield. I thought Maguire was good yesterday. I thought he sort of read the game really well. His positional play was a lot better. He looked a lot more relaxed on the pitch yesterday that I've seen him for a long time. I don't know why, but he impressed me yesterday. I thought his one-on-one tackling and his general all-around positional play was a lot better. He seemed a lot more calmer with the ball as well and wasn't so uptight. He seemed a lot more relaxed yesterday, which was nice to see. I thought Dalot was fantastic yesterday again. He's a stalwart starter for me now. I think Bissaka's going to really struggle to get back in the team. I don't want to see him replacing Dalot. Telles, for me, maybe. That's probably the one position where I feel like he's probably not a nailed starter. Although I thought he done quite well yesterday, and he does give us a lot of quality from that left-hand side with his left foot. I don't know whether he starts ahead of Luke Shaw. I think that's a difficult one. But we do have a big squad. I think Martial coming back into the fold tells me that he's probably not going to leave in January now. There's been rumours that he obviously wants away big style, and then he played yesterday and took his chance, and that's all the substitutes can do is try and make a difference when they get on the pitch. You got to question the Van de Beek situation. I think his time at United's over. Maybe the same for Lingard, but Martial, I think, definitely ain't going nowhere. And he's got a lot of problems, isn't he? And he's got to try and sort of juggle the best sort of teams for the best games. But I feel like we've got quite a lot of games coming up with the Middlesbrough game, which hopefully we get past them and move on again. We've got the Champions League coming up. So we're going to need the whole squad. And I feel like players are going to get a chance that haven't played a lot of games. Maybe Martial, maybe Bailey, players like that against Middlesbrough. I feel like he'll chop and change for Middlesbrough a little bit and maybe leave a Varane out and maybe play a Bailey in centre-back and maybe Henderson will get a game, just something like that. But I think the fact that there's a lot of games and we're still in a few competitions probably helps Ralph out a little bit at the moment. But in the summer, for sure, because it's too big.
Yeah, I mean, Does it look quite clear to you, Owen, that you can actually have a conversation with Ralph? Because Martial looked like he was out the door. We've seen what happened after the Villa game. Ralph come out and said he spoke with him, he dealt with it, everything was fine. Then Martial makes his appearance back on the pitch again, mate. I think we're seeing quite clearly now the players that aren't willing to do that or even have that conversation. And I'm talking about the likes of Lingard, Donny, players like this. I mean, can you see them being the ones that are leaving, or do you still think Martial, he's on his way out as well, Owen?
I think Martial will probably leave in the summer. I don't think he's going to leave in January. But I would say that Jesse and Donny are gone. Love Jesse. But, you know, it's probably time to move on now. And Newcastle will probably be a great project for him. You know, a couple of years there, earning very good wages, playing in the Premier League, probably get back into the England squad. And I'd love to see him do well because, honestly, one of my favourite players ever at United because I love him to pieces. But Donny just seems to have never worked out for him. It depends on who the new man coming in is in the summer. If it's Ten Hag, then you probably do keep Donny in that squad. It depends on what decision Ralph makes himself. In terms of like being able to have a conversation with Ralph, though, he's just German, mate. They just do shit right. Like that's just a fact. Like he just seems like a reasonable bloke. He'll have a conversation with any player about anything, it seems. So very happy that he's in charge at the minute and happy that he's picking the next man or possibly staying on because, you know, but there's a few decisions that he has to make now in terms of giving people game time. But you've got, you know, that Barrow game in the Cup and I'm assuming there'll be a lot of squad rotation in that. It's a Friday night. And, you know, depending on how far we get in the Cup, there could be a lot of rotation in and amongst the squad. And who knows, mate? Who knows? Because we've still got Atletico. And this could be an amazing year. It could be shit, but it could be amazing. So that's just it.
I mean, Jamie, mate, it's been long enough now. I think we can start judging things and seeing and discussing how Ralph's tenure's going. 10 games in charge, obviously only one defeat. If you count since Solly left the club, we've only lost one game in 13. It's just quite condemning, to be honest. We were down in the depths of 8th in the league. Ralph's been in charge for, 7 weeks now? We're back in the top 4, mate. One defeat in 10. Through to the next round of the FA Cup. Champions League to look forward to, although that was already in the bag pretty much, thanks to Carrick and the boys there. But looking at it now, mate, are you seeing improvement under Ralph? Are you seeing enough to give you confidence, like someone just asked in the comments there? Can't remember which name it was. Without buying anyone in January, can we make top 4 with what we've got with this squad, with Ralph in charge and how he's rotating at the moment?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get top 4, to be honest with you. It's difficult, but we've just got to keep plodding away and trying to win games. As long as we're not losing games, we're going to be there or thereabouts. But I like the way Ralph comes across, that he's not shy to answer questions on difficult situations, and he's very, it's like Owen said, he's German. It's just what they do. They're very outspoken, they're very honest, they're very opinionated on how they see things, particularly football. German coaches are always the same. But I like the way that he's kind of given a little bit to the fan base and letting us know what's going on, and he's dealing with things properly. He's got a lot of problems in that squad at the moment. He's coming at a very difficult time with all the sort of leaks coming out of the club, and the way that he's just sort of seemed to be able to put it all back together is a credit to him. Some of them have been dire, let's be honest, but some of them have been good. You've seen little glimpses there of what he's trying to sort of implement, and with a couple of different players and a couple of different positions, we could probably be a completely different team and be a lot more competitive than we are. But you've got to work with what you've got. I don't think they're going to buy anybody in January. And you've just got to sort of roll the dice and hope that what he's doing and what he's trying to implement in a very short space of time is going to pay off. That's obviously what we want. And top 4 is kind of essential, really, if we want to kick on next season and sign the bigger players. But it's going to be difficult. There's some quality teams in the league, but it's like you say, as long as we're not losing games, we've got a chance. And I like the way that he's come across so far. I like the way that he's handled certain situations. I would like to see more of his style of play on the team, but I generally just think that the style of player isn't there to allow us to do it, Adam.
I mean,
Take his on it.
on that, Jamie, mate. I've looked at the possession stats recently. We've been well in our favour, around 55, 57% against Villa, Brentford, and West Ham, obviously, yesterday. Passing is more accurate. I mean, it's simple football, but it's effective. It's just that balancing act into it. I do see his style coming across. I do think he realised quickly, though, Owen, mate, that 4-2-2 wasn't going to work with these players. And he's adapting, isn't he, mate? Because not only did he change the starting formation, but in-game, he went 4-2-4 and dropped Bruno back yesterday to make it work. So we're seeing more variations with Ralph, which we've seen none of under Ollie, mate. And that has to be a positive sign and has to be looked on as progression, does it not?
Ralph's a top-level coach, so he's able to adapt in-game, before the game. He's obviously 4-2-2 is his favourite formation, but he's adapted and changed it because he knows he can't do it with the players he has at his disposal. So he's just a very good football coach. He's got very good footballing brain. I would listen to him for hours talk about football. When I actually enjoy watching his press conferences and hearing him talk about the game. It's not like, your generic bullshit of like, game of 2 halves, good on this, fair play, good goal. Like, he'll actually break shit down and explain it to you. And he tries to make you understand the intricacies of the team and how he wants to set it up. I don't think I've really seen that under any other managers before. To be honest, I think he's brilliant.
Does he implement it enough and give you enough hope in the way he's talking and changing things now, mate? And if he made top 4 this season, is that enough for him to have a shout for actually carrying this tenure on?
No,
not just
top 4. Not just top 4. If he wants to carry on, he's got to win the Champions League.
Well,
mate. Oh, if he does, mate, I'll get a tattoo of fucking Ralph's Tricky Reds on my back. I will commit to that. I will be in St. Petersburg drinking Russian vodka and bouncing around the place. And I don't know, I'll probably end up marrying some bird called Svetlana as well while I'm out there. Who knows? But that's a possibility. But if we win the Champions League this year, mate, he stay forever if he wants.
It has to be a trophy, though. What if he gets
there has to be a trophy, but it's been too long without a trophy at the club, Adam. So an FA Cup and top 4, I'd consider it. And the Champions League is nailed on there. If he gets that, Jesus Christ, we have to keep him.
Yeah, I'm not getting ahead of myself here, everybody, just so you know. It's just a question out there because he is an option for the manager. And if he does get through to a level with these players, Jamie, mate, by the end of the season, they're all on board because I'm seeing the issue players, or what we thought were a problem, starting to realise that, you know what, we're not going anywhere else. I can't get away from this club. It's about time I rolled my sleeves up and actually listen to a manager. And a manager who's talking sense. And a manager who doesn't talk like Ollie did at the start of the season when he tells Jesse Lingard he's going to get game time. When he convinces Donny he's going to get game time. It looked like Martial was going out the door. Like we said a minute ago, with Owen there, then he's there for a conversation. If you do something in training or you impress him in a way, there's a good chance you're going to get in this team, mate. And I know Donny van der Beek completely throws that point completely out the window, but no one knows what's going on there. But with everybody else, Jamie, it looks like you're going to get a fair crack at the whip. And if the players get on board with this, then is there a chance that the board will be thinking, there's more than a chance, because if it does get them to the promised land again next season, and of course they're going to think about it. But are you one of these people that says, look, we had a plan, we made a decision, German engineering, it's like if Bayern Munich did it, mate. If they said, we're going to bring in an interim manager and then change it at the end of the season, no matter what, we stick with that decision. We don't get carried away by what happens in between. Are you one of them, or would you even consider it if the players, like Owen said, brought top 4, possibly an FA Cup? Is that enough for you? Or would you just say, look, no, big club, made the decision in December, we're going to stick with what we were deciding to do and go with the new manager in the summer, and Ralph goes upstairs? Where are you at with that, mate?
I've seen different conversations on this subject and people saying we just need to stick to the plan because look what happened with Ollie. But It's a completely different situation. Like managerial wise, the experience levels of Ralph and Ollie are just incomparable. So you just can't do that. But I totally agree with what Owen said. Like we ain't won a trophy for so long now. It's getting to the point where it's like I'm kind of like itching to just win a trophy no matter what it is. You know what I mean? And I feel like if he delivers top 4, he's probably going to have a shout. It's all going to come up to the Glazers anyway, isn't it? And I feel like another part of the other side of the coin to it is as well is who do they want? Like, do they want Ajax as manager? Can they get Pochettino? That would be the thing for me, because if you're not going to bring in a coach that's sort of understands what's going on at United, and let's be honest, he came into an absolute car crash of a dressing room, didn't he? And he's been brave and he's made some big decisions. He's dropped Basaka. Dalot looks absolutely rejuvenated, fantastic. He's given Alanga an opportunity. He's managing the problem players well that want out the door. He's getting some sort of harmony into the team. But if they do give it to Ranić, they're going to have to let him do it his way. And it's whether the board will allow that to happen. Because I don't feel like he can implement his game on this team. He's already changed from his formation. So if they do give him the reins, they're going to have to sort of say, okay, you've done what you've done. We've been impressed. Here's the deal. Now you go do your thing. Because I feel like that's what's potentially going to happen with the 2-year deal as the advisory role anyway. I think he's going to probably help with recruitment. And he has to be allowed to do that, whether he's the manager or he goes upstairs anyway. But they would be my questions. Who's the target for one? And what's it going to take for him to get it? And if he does get it, are you going to give him the reins? And if the answer's no to that, then he's in a tricky situation, because I wouldn't like him to take the job and then be sort of another puppet that's told what players are going to be brought in instead of him being given the reins. I feel like it's happened too much under Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ollie to an extent. And it has to be given, the reins have to be given to Ranić if they trust him in the process, getting to where they want us to get to now. So it's going to be interesting, mate. Really interesting.
One good thing going into the summer, and one thing that we're seeing with Ralph that may sway the owners or the hierarchy, you never know, mate. I can't mark the players. They'll go Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Jadon Sancho, Donny van de Beek. I mean, I'm talking close there to, $250 million worth of players. They really haven't contributed to our recent form. He's not bothered for price tags, mate, is it? And if he brings in these younger players and they do the job they're doing now, then that has to be looked at in a United DNA way, does it not?
Yeah.
I say that word DNA.
Well, mate, like if they don't want to be here, just piss off. Like no one's bigger than the club. We replace Roy Keane, we replace Yapstam, we replace Vidic, we replace other people like a lot bigger than them. If they don't want to be here, they can just piss off, mate. That's the be all and end all of it. I mean, happy enough with. I mean, Maguire probably wouldn't let go, but I mean, Donny is probably going to move on. Jesse and Martial, all within the next year, are all probably going to head out. And if they don't want to be here, they can just go. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. Sometimes it's just not worked out. Donny, not like obviously a good footballer, but just doesn't suit our style of play, and it's just not worked out for him, the poor fella. Don't know where he's going to end up, but good luck to him. I mean, it's nice to see that Ralph doesn't care about price tags and stuff like that, and he's just wanting the best for the team, as opposed to trying to keep some dirty rat-faced looking American twat in a box happy with his new little toy that he spent a few quid. Well, that he didn't spend a few quid on, that he siphoned that money out of the club from. But whatever, we don't want to talk about that bastard anymore. But yeah, it's good to see, man. It's good to see. It's good to see a manager that is doing the best things for the team on the pitch.
That's it. Going forward, Jamie, with the players, obviously we can talk about. It's nice to actually be talking about football, actually, and actually talking about where best might suit certain players and where we can actually go forward with this. But one thing I did pick up on over the last couple of games, obviously Rashford getting his 2 goals, but coming off the right, mate, Marcus Rashford. It's his natural side, obviously. I mean, never really played there that much, but both his goals have come from that right-hand side, coming in from that side. Do you feel like that is a place that is up for grabs right now, that right-hand side? Are you solely thinking Greenwood has got that nailed down? How are you having that front four, mate? I mean, Bruno, like Owen said, Bruno picks himself. There's no one better in that role than him. But that front three could be anyone, mate, couldn't it? It really could. Rashford coming on, getting the goals that he's got. Are you more for the industry? And I think Greenwood looks after the ball better than Marcus Rashford does. But it's going to be tough picking someone right now, mate, because there's a lot gunning for them positions. That right-hand side is stacked, I think, now. Because Rashford, I don't think is getting back in on the left. I think if anyone comes in, it's Martial now. I mean, your thoughts on that left and right, mate? Because we'll maybe touch on Ronaldo in a minute in that centre-forward position. But this looks like the way we're going forward with the three. Yeah. So how would you play it, mate, going forward now, looking at who's in form and who's coming back into this team?
I think sort of centrally, Ronaldo kind of picks himself because of his reputation. But like, I feel like you've probably got Sancho, you've got Greenwood, and you've got Rashford probably vying for that right-hand side of the pitch, and they're gonna sort of have to fight it out. For me, my preference would be Greenwood because I don't necessarily see what he's done wrong to not warrant that place, but. We're talking about Rashford being pushed over to the right now, but that just credit to Elanga for that because I don't see anybody getting in ahead of him at the moment. Ralph's proven that if you're doing what I want you to do and you're playing well and you're having a good positive influence on the team, you're going to play. So I feel like he's not nailed down that position because I do expect like Elanga to be rotated at times, but I do feel like if Martial is going to be coming back into the fold, he is going to play off of that right. I can't see him playing through the middle with him. Rashford's probably available to play through the middle if Ralph wants to go down that route. But I feel like you've got a lot of different options. And the one player that's probably got a massive question mark on him at the moment, getting into the team, is Sancho. I don't particularly think he's lit the world on fire. More quality from him, from the player that I thought we were signing from Dortmund. I don't know the ins and outs as to why his performances have been as they are. Has he had family issues off the field? I don't know. But on the field, I can just judge him, and I don't think he's been good enough. He's shown glimpses, but I think he's the one player that's going to struggle to get in the team at the moment. And I've always said, like you need to pick a lineup to your opponents, and everybody's going to have a different style of play. If we're playing against a low block, maybe you'll pick a different three. If we're playing on the counter attack, maybe you want to go with a bit more pacier players, maybe a Rashford through the middle. So it's interesting, but I feel like Ralph's knowledge of the game and the opponent, he'll study the opponent well with his staff and pick the right team. And I just fully trust in the process. But yeah, big question mark for Sancho, and I kind of do feel for him because I feel like he needs a run of games, but leave other players out when they're playing well. That's just how football works, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was SK who said in the comment section there, you can have two options. You can have a direct option, you can have a looking after the ball option. I would say Elanga and Rashford would be direct options. Then you could have Sancho and Martial would be completely different, Owen, in terms of looking after the ball and playing a different game. Does Ronaldo stay in the middle for you, mate, there? Is that a given now? Because I said this on the fan vlogs yesterday, mate. I said, under Ole, it was all about Ronaldo. Ranić, like we said then just a minute ago, he doesn't really care about reputation and price tags. And Ronaldo really hasn't shone as much, in my opinion, since Ralph's been in charge. Is there a shout for bringing one of these players we spoke about into the middle even?
I think in the future, but I think you sign Ronaldo, you play him. So I don't think there's any conversations to be had. Like, I feel like he'll probably be rotated a bit here and there, but in general, Ronaldo is definitely going to play another 20 or 30 games, or start another 20 or 30 games this season easily. But in terms of the other things, like, isn't it? It's just a nice problem to have because we haven't had a nice problem in a long time now. We've now got options on the wing, and they're actually good options. And we just look like a better team all around and a better squad. And I know we haven't been performing amazingly up until the last couple of games, but it's going in the right direction. We've got great attacking options. And I mean, I'd say we're. I don't want to say it, but I feel like, why not? I feel like a midfielder away from a title challenge. That's what I genuinely feel like. Why not? Let's be a ray of positivity in a very miserable world.
You are a positive fan, Owen, mate. I will give you credit for that, mate. I do believe we need 2 midfielders to come in. I don't think McFred, Jamie, is going to be good enough, but yesterday they probably deserve the credit they got for winning that midfield battle, I thought, mate. And are we going to be seeing the McFred all the way through to the end of the season now? Have them 2 nailed down their position? Is it looking more unlikely that it is going to be Fred McTominay? We're not going to see Donny. We're not going to see Matic come in. Or does Pogba come in and spin everything on its head, mate? What do you reckon?
I think that's the $1 million question, Adam. Can Pogba come into that team and completely rejuvenate his reputation within the fan base and take us on to a top 4 finish and maybe a trophy? I don't know. That's wishful thinking at its best, but I do feel like Ranić likes the qualities that Fred and McTominay bring to the team. They're different types of players, but they kind of do sort of for everyone. Obviously, the McFred name, they complement each other and bring what the other one can't. But I feel like they've both got some sort of they've got attributes that fit that 3 in the midfield. He obviously does trust Bruno to be that focal sort of number 10 playmaking player, and like Owen said earlier, the stats don't lie with Bruno Fernandes. So it's interesting, but I agree with you. I think we need 2 midfielders, like longer term. But he seems to like Fred and McTominay. If the fan base like them or not, it's a different story. But that's a debate that you could have all night. But I feel like Pogba's like that joker of a pack of cards that if he comes on, is he gonna sort of mess everything up and bring that quality that we know he can bring? And does Ralf trust him enough to sort of break that system of that 3 to allow him to come in and play? Is he going to play off left in this formation? Who knows? There's another sort of card you can put out there. Is he going to play Pogba on the left of that 3 like Ollie did for a little while? It's very interesting, but it's like Owen said, it's kind of nice problems to have that we've got world-class players that we can pick from. So very, very interesting, the Pogba situation.
Yeah, it could be an ace, couldn't it? It could be top of the deck. It could be bottom of the deck. It's hard to pick which one it is with Pogba. That's the thing. But before we do finish up on the show, guys, Owen, you first, mate. 22 games into the season now, mate. Top 4. We're in that position. Are we staying in that position? How are you seeing it, mate? Where are we finishing now looking ahead? Because when we come back, obviously, the window will be shut. We're not going to buy anyone. I think we're all safe in saying that. This is what we've got, mate. Has Ralf done enough to get the players on board now for this charge, mate, at the end of the season? Last 3 months, mate.
Fuck yeah, I'm quite a positive bloke. So I'm going to say 3rd.
Oh,
semi-final of the Champions League and an FA Cup. He's coming back to Manchester, and it's coming to the Red Arse, not for those bastards, before anyone says it in the comments.
Now that is a statement and a half. I'm liking it, and I will be absolutely off my tits if that does happen.
Mate, if we win the FA Cup, me and you, I live down the road from Wembley, we're getting twatted. We are going to go absolutely ham, mate.
That's it. Nigel K in the comments. Cough sweets are here, mate. Yes, I've got them. By the way, I am negative for COVID. It's just a stupid cough, which is doing my head in big time. I think this 2-week break has come at the right time. But when we come back from the 2-week break, Jamie, are you as optimistic as Owen? What are you seeing, pal? Have you seen enough? Are the players on board? 3 months to go when we get back. 3 competitions all coming up in February, mate. Big games ahead. Have we got what it takes to, first of all, be in the top 4 and then maybe pick up a bit of silverware as well, mate?
If we can keep consistent, I generally do think we can make top 4. It isn't going to be easy. We're going to have to win games that we're probably not favourites to win games, but that we've got the quality of player to be able to do that. There's a couple of things we need to improve on, chance creation being one of them, but I think we can do well in the Champions League. I think we can catch a couple of European teams cold. I think we'll beat Atletico Madrid over 2 legs. So that will be interesting if we get favourable draws in that, and we'll have enough to get past Middlesbrough with a second string, I feel. And you never know, you might get a favourable FA Cup route. Some of the bigger teams might get knocked out. So, yeah, why not? I would love an FA Cup win. I think we can make top 4, yeah. And top 4 in an FA Cup would be perfect. And if we get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, like Owen said, we'll all be very happy men. So, yeah. If you get to the semi-final, why can't you get to the final? So
I know, but I couldn't say win the Champions League and the FA Cup in it because that sounds like there's being positive and then there's being just a bit fucking too optimistic.
You'd have been clipped up big style there, mate.
Oh, next level, clipped up like a right dickhead. But so we've dodged that one.
Agreed. Don't drop that positivity though, lad. We need that in the world.
No, I'll be
in our fan base. We need it.
I'll be like, mate. Honestly, if we win the Champions League, I'll be on the beer for a month.
Yeah, I think
with
they'll be a few with you, mate.
Yeah,
that's it. Owen, 2 weeks off. What are you doing with yourself, mate? Anything planned, pal?
2 weeks off. I'll probably go watch a bit of non-league because I'd normally do that when United aren't on. Go watch.
Who are you going to, mate? Who are you watching?
It's the club that I used to work for, St Albans. I used to do their match reports and stuff. So I'm going to go up there. My mate's got a season ticket there, so we just go up. It's about tenner in or something like that, and go have a few beers and watch a bit of football.
Nice pint, nice food there, mate. It's always good in non-league.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good, man, because it's never as bad queues, fresh grub. It's nice. It's nice.
That's it, mate. Jamie, what are you doing with yourself up there in the northeast, mate? What's anything planned?
Over the weekends when United's on, mate, I'm a big boxing fan. I'm not sure if you two know that actually, but the boxing kicks off on in February, mate. There's some big cards coming up, and there's a couple of little local shows around here where I like to support the local northeast boxers, and I know some lads that are on the circuit that sort of ain't got the big names and the big purses and that yet. So I like to sort of buy tickets off them, go and watch the boxing, and just started training myself as well, mate. So I'm just trying to keep myself busy, working and doing the boyfriend thing, mate, and spending time with the whippet. So, yeah, that would be me, mate.
That's it. Also, Saeed dropping in, couldn't make it today. He is down in London town doing a bit of filming. I don't know if I should give away the show that it's on, so I'll leave him to reveal who he's been filming with today.
That geezer might as well move to London at this point. He's here every 2 days.
Big show. And it's not who you may think either, but I'll leave Saeed to drop that. So do give his channel a follow on Saeed TV as well, guys, because he is doing some big work there today. And we'll have him back in the week at some point, plenty of time with no games on. So we'll have some fun stuff in between. That's pretty much what I'll be doing. Grafting. I'll be on United Stand as well tonight at 8 o'clock, everybody. I am in with Ricky, so that should be fun, breaking everything down. And everyone who came up to me yesterday, absolutely buzzing, great conversations, and just happy to see a lot of smiles on Red's faces yesterday. The chants were out. Check out that new Alanga song as well, guys. Rhythm is a dancer. Absolute quality. I can see Owen bopping to that. Very...
Mate, it's going to be
that one, mate. Really
mate, it's going to be a tattoo.
Froze just as I was doing it.
It's going to be a tattoo. That's what's going to happen there.
When we do get back, Adam, I might have to give you a little sweet WhatsApp, mate, because I wouldn't mind getting back down at some point. So that might be in the pipeline. No doubt we'll drop points when I come down, mate.
No, you can stay up there, mate.
Yeah, Alfie told me at Newcastle that I ain't coming back down now.
That's it. Guys, I'm going to wrap up the show there. I'm going to save my voice for another 5 minutes before we do the United Stand show. I just want to say cheers for coming on, J-Mac. Give the people a shout out to your socials, mate, and where they can catch you and what your boxing antics and what you're getting up to.
Just my Twitter is at JamMackay1989 if you want to get me over there, and my Instagram, if you actually want to see a different side of me that just doesn't talk football and is usually on a beach with my whippet, you're more than welcome to do that and checking out the local coffee houses. I'm pretty boring, to be fair, but if you want to get me on Instagram, it's Jamie Mackay 99. That's where you'll find me. Thanks for having me on, Adam. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries. Owen, mate, shout them out, Pete. Shout them out, mate.
Yeah, it's Cockney Red 99 on everything, and Owen Roch1 on Instagram if you want to see me out and about and having a laugh, and just trying to generally take the piss and try and not take life too seriously.
That is Owen in a nutshell, everybody. Guys, cheers for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Matic TV. I will be back at 8 o'clock on the United Stand. I will see you all there. Cheers, everybody. Super chats and comments on point tonight. But for now, enjoy the 2-week break. Enjoy being in the top, looking at that table for 2 weeks with no concern. But for now, we're done, mate. We're out. We're done and we're out of here, I should say. See you later, everybody.